My name is Mary, and this is Brian, and
Hi.
we're here to welcome you to a joyful conversation. You know who our guest of the evening is?
Yes.
Who has heard him sing this evening already? By show of applause. Who hasn't heard him sing this evening? By show of applause.
Who thinks this is Super Soap Weekend and you're here just a little early?
We're not.
Thank you, Mary. We are very excited to have you guys here. This is our last show of the night, and we are going to, here's what's going to happen. We're going to bring Melanie out. She's going to talk to Matthew for a little bit. But then we're going to turn the show over to you guys, and we want you to ask questions of Matthew. So start thinking of them. Don't be shy. We've been getting to a bunch. So we'll get, and as the show goes along, Mary will be over there and I'll be over here. And as we start taking questions, look for us, because we'll be looking for you. So just stick your hand up and then we'll pull you out and we'll go back
No
and
need
forth.
to flash money. We really don't need that. Just kidding. But Melanie McKay's coming out, and she does great interviews here.
She's fantastic.
Yeah, she really is. So is everyone ready?
Should we get started? Good.
Okay.
Would you please give a rousing round of applause for Melanie McKay?
Thank you. Love those guys. Gotta pay them more, I think, though. Hey, welcome everybody. I'm really excited about this. How many of you guys were just at any of the Matthew West shows tonight? How many of you seen him at any of the other 3 times he's been at Night of Joy? I have to admit, I'm a little nervous. I've done this already tonight, but I'm a little nervous because I'm a huge fan as well. So please help me welcome Matthew West.
What's going on? That was so weak.
Well, they got all wore out at your show. They just got
Are you
back
guys
from your
tired?
show.
Did you just go to my show? So you had a good time? I guarantee you did not have as much fun as I did. You guys, I mean...
I just want to know, how many songs did you write between here and the last show?
No, none. I'm all wiped out. I ran out of ideas after the Mickey hand thing.
Anybody got a nice Starbucks for him? Maybe that'll help.
There's no Starbucks at Disney. You don't need it. The coffee at Disney's better. But I had an amazing time playing the show tonight, and you guys were an amazing, just awesome crowd. So thank you so much for showing me. Give yourselves a hand. See, doesn't that feel good? That's what I felt the whole time on stage. Just such love from you guys. So it was good times. And it's hard to play guitar with Mickey Mouse hands. Just side note.
Yeah, but you don't have to build up those calluses or anything.
I know.
That's
But,
nice.
so that was nice. It did feel comfy. But
Well, I could sit here and I could really chat with Matthew West all night because, as I said, I am a big fan. Gosh, you came to the Z, it's been probably about 5 years ago, and you came to pulled out a grill and you flipped burgers for us when you were first doing the radio tours, when you first introduced yourself to us. And then I remember just a couple years back, you came back and we had you at the Zelwood Sweet Corn Festival. We seem to have food in common. I don't know.
yeah, well,
But you were sicker than a dog that day, and God bless
Yeah.
you. It was like 94 in Orlando, and the humidity was about 114%, and nobody in that audience would have ever known that you were just sicker than a dog.
well, I just don't know how people in Florida do it. Like, it's like walking around in the shower, like a really hot one, you know, where you can hardly breathe. And so, yeah, food seems to follow me wherever I go. I've had to cut back. I don't know if you noticed, but I've shed some poundage. Like, just people come up to me, they're like, "You look different." I'm like, I quit eating ice cream. But yeah, so I go way back with Z88.3. We came the first time I met this radio station. I brought you food, and that was just my evil plan to get them to start playing my music, and it worked.
It worked.
Yes.
Yeah. Extra roll here, and I think there's one
There you
over
go.
here.
And I lost some weight.
So, but I don't want to spend the night asking him all the questions tonight. What's really cool about this is your opportunity. We get calls at the radio station all the time. Can you get a message to Matthew? Can you tell him this about his song? Or can you ask him that? And so this is your opportunity tonight. We're going to open up the floor, and Mary and Brian have microphones, and they're going to let you guys ask Matthew the questions tonight.
Well, our first question is from Jordan from Claremont. Hi, Jordan. What's your question?
What does it feel like to be able to know that your words and your songs can just change people's lives? Because I know 2 years ago when I was 13, I saw you at Night of Joy, and you completely changed my life. And
Wow.
Does it change your life?
I became closer to God, and I finally, like, it just clicked. It just became, I understand Him now and everything, so.
Well, I think I took that one out. Well, I just have to say, that just means so much. It just it touches my heart, and I think everybody in our lives, we all need reminders sometimes of why we do what we do, and why we wake up in the morning. And I'm no different. I need a reminder too. So tonight you're my reminder, and it encourages me to go back home and continue to put God first in my own life, and write songs that I hope and pray will speak to your hearts and encourage you. Even when you're having like the worst day, you can just turn on the radio and God can, this is how big God is that He can use a little 3-minute song. And if He could use a 3-minute song, imagine what He could do with your whole life. And that's the thing that encourages me. It's not just the singer that has something to say. It's like, that's what I want my music to do, is to turn around and remind you that you have something to say. And that's why I called my album Something to Say, not because I have something to say, because I want every one of you to know through the music that I sing that now it's your turn. Okay, you've been encouraged by my song? Well, guess what? God has a plan for your life, a huge plan, and it's going to be something amazing. The world is waiting to hear what you have to say. So thank you for being my reminder tonight. Let's give it up for her. Come on, man.
We have a question over here. Come on now, Matthew. We're going to walk over here. Matthew, this is Matthew, and he has a question for you.
What a great name, man.
Well, I wanted to let you know that I was at your thing at Freedom Fest,
Yeah.
and my friend and I started working on a song that we now have finished, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Nice.
And I was wondering, what would you suggest for a singer that's going through voice change? Because I like to sing. So
And your voice is changing?
my voice is
How
changing.
old are you, Matthew?
I am 12.
12 years old. Well, it's pretty common.
In my day, there was this show called The Brady Bunch.
Yep. Matthew, I've never been asked this question before, and although I'm not a doctor, I did sleep at a Holiday Inn Express. And I'd like to share with you how to properly... Boy, well, first of all, congratulations on writing a song. Give it up for Matthew, ladies and gentlemen. And who knows, I mean, this is a cool thing. Maybe we'll all be coming to Night of Joy to see this Matthew sometime. You keep writing songs, you never know, right? As far as the voice change thing, man, just hang in there. And I would try to talk as deep as you can. Just kidding. No, but you know, there's a lot of singers that, like, their voice, I used to have a really high range, and I was singing in junior high, and I could sing like higher than all the girls, you know? And I thought that was cool, and then I was like, oh, maybe that's not very cool. And, but then my voice changed, and now I can still sing pretty high, but I can sing lower, and it all worked out for me. So I think it's gonna work out for you. You guys think it's gonna work out for him? So just hang in there. I totally did not answer his question.
Well, Lynn is here from Gainesville. Her favorite song is You Are Everything.
Thank
and
you.
Lynn, what's your question?
Well, it's not really a question, but I wanted to thank you for sharing that story with us about your vocal cords, and just, I know you said that was like the worst thing that's ever happened, and a year and a half ago my sister was killed in an accident, and that song You Are Everything is just means so much to me. And I do have a question. You come hug me.
So it's Joyful Conversations and Hugs, the new name.
Well, I just have to tell you guys, you know, one thing I really struggled with, like, when I was recovering from my surgery, the irony of my situation was that I was already working on an album called Something to Say before I found out I needed to have surgery. And a lot of people thought, oh, he came up with that title after having nothing to say. But I had written that down in my journal months before, that my new CD was going to be called Something to Say, and I didn't understand what it meant. And then I went to the doctor and they said, you got nothing to say. And immediately something clicked in my spirit, and I was like, okay, God is at work. I'm very upset right now, but God is at work and I need to rest in this. And even as my voice recovered, I felt like God was wanting me to share about my story of brokenness every time I get up on stage and let people know maybe how damaged I've been in my own life. But one thing I struggled with was that thought that, my pain and my suffering, it's just a blip on the radar of the world's suffering. I mean, we just heard a story of intense tragedy. But God just reminded me that, although our pain, when we compare it to the pain of the world, it might feel small, it matters to God. What we go through matters to God. And what I went through, it mattered. It was a big deal in my life. It was my livelihood. It was my voice. And I knew that because it mattered to me, it mattered to God. And so I've just trusted that as I share my story of brokenness, that people won't walk away going, oh, that's an interesting story about him. But more importantly, that people like this girl who just shared her story will walk away thinking about their own brokenness and how God maybe wants to teach them something through it. And most importantly, how he wants to walk with you through it. So thank you for sharing that. And again, it's just another reminder of why I'm writing these songs.
What would you say was the greatest thing you learned walking through that brokenness? What was your greatest lesson, you think?
Well, I learned that it's impossible to win an argument with your wife when you have a dry erase board as your means of communication. I tried to write in all caps, but she just said, "What? I can't hear you." She's really sweet, though.
She didn't give you a bell at any point, did she?
No bell.
Smart lady.
She locked me up in a room for no. I can't even begin. I'm actually going to write a book about all the things that God taught me in the silence. But one thing I learned, and this is just a recurring theme in my life, is that sometimes we just think we're too damaged for God to use us. We think we're damaged goods because we grew up in a broken home, or we were abused as a child, or we've hopped around from one bad relationship to the next, or we've spent time in jail, or we have a record, or we've made too many mistakes, we've battled drugs. We all feel like at times, man, we're just damaged goods. But one thing I realize is that God looks at us and says, I will take your damage and I will use it for good. And I learned that some of the worst beginnings can have the most beautiful endings. And I'm just experiencing that, and I hope to be living proof for that in your own life. Whatever worst beginning you're in the middle of, which doesn't really make sense, it can turn into a beautiful ending when you allow him to work through it.
We have Donovan over here. Come on over here, Donovan. It's a good segue for Donovan's question. Go ahead.
My name is Donovan. I have a question. I am the only person in my family that believes in God. They raised me totally atheist. They raised my sister. Everybody in my family doesn't even think of the word God. And it's because of you and a band named Five Iron Frenzy that I'm even here. And they changed my life.
Wow.
And you changed my life. And I do have something to say. And I just want to know what I should say to my family and just try to get them to be proud of my decisions.
Well, first of all, I want to tell you, dude, you are brave. And I mean, that is awesome to be able to stand up and make a decision to follow Christ in a surrounding that is not promoting that. In fact, looking down on that. I want to just tell you that that's going to require a strength, like I talked about in my show tonight, a strength that comes from a source outside of yourself. Because if you're just trying yourself to be strong and be a Christian in that environment, you're probably going to stumble and you're going to feel weak. But God promises to give you a strength beyond your own strength so that you can stand strong. Because you've made the most important decision of your life, and your family around you, they don't understand that yet. But let me tell you something, your example is going to speak so loud. I remember in high school, it was like, I used to think my friends, they kind of would give me a hard time because I was a preacher's kid and I was a Christian, and I was trying to be an example, but I felt like they didn't think I was cool, I felt like they just kind of looked down on me. But as time began to pass and I began to stay true to my statement of faith, I realized that those very groups of people that I thought were kind of making fun of me, they respected me in the end. And some of them made decisions to follow Christ, some of them didn't. But one thing that was true was that I stayed the course, and God gave me strength beyond my own. And He's going to do the same with you. And man, I'll just encourage you, because I've seen it happen where a young person brings his parents to find hope in Christ. And God can use you no matter how young you are, whatever your situation is. You're going to do it, and you're going to make an impact in your family. So that's the example of how you're something to say. It doesn't have to be to a huge crowd. Donovan is going to be used in his home, to his parents, to his family, and that is going to have an eternal impact. So stay strong, man. Give it up for Donovan, guys. That's awesome.
Matthew, this is Lynn from Boca Raton, whose
Lynn.
favorite song happens to be Something to Say.
Oh, cool.
What is your question?
First of all, I just want to say that I'm like a beyond huge fan of yours,
Oh,
and
thank you.
it's just so nerve-wracking standing here.
Well, you're doing it quite well. I think she's doing well, don't you? I wish your necklace flashed like.
Oh, it does.
Oh, can you show us? There you go. Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, how old were you when you realized you wanted to be a singer? Because I just realized recently that I want to be an actress when I grow up. So I just wanted to know.
Wow. Well, you probably got more of a head start. How old are you?
I'm 14.
14. Well, here's the deal. I was singing when I was growing up. In fact, my parents are here tonight. Hi, Mom and Dad. Where are you? So can you please make some noise for my mom and Dad? And they're going to come up right now and sing a duet for you. But they used to sing. My dad's a preacher, and my mother, she has a wonderful singing voice. My dad, he's all right. He's a better preacher. But I would learn. I just picked up music from an early age, being around the church all the time. And my mom would always sing harmony to the songs we would sing in church. And so my ear always gravitated towards that. But to be quite honest with you, when I was growing up, playing sports, I thought it was much cooler. And so even though I would kind of secretly be in choir, and I'd secretly have a part in the school musical, I never wanted to tell my coach and my teammates that I had to go leave practice early for dress rehearsal for the school musical. So it really wasn't until I went away to college, when my dreams for playing professional baseball, like a million other kids, went up in smoke. I wound up pursuing music as a college student. So you have a much greater head start than I do, and I think you're going to do great.
Oh my gravy, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, didn't you get a chance recently to do a little pitch thing?
Pitch thing?
A little bit of your dream? Didn't you throw a pitch?
No. You mean at the Cubs game?
Yeah.
I didn't they didn't let me near the actual playing field. I tried to run to first base, but they tackled me. No, I sang the national
anthem. You the one who's on the news? Is that what it was?
That was me. I sang the Star Spangled Banner at Wrigley Field in Chicago. And tomorrow I'm going to be on stage singing at the Minnesota Twins baseball game. So I actually have to fly out at 7 a.m. to go to play. They do a faith concert after the big baseball game, so they'll roll the stage out on the field. So that's the closest I've been to professional baseball, playing guitar. So.
Okay, I think we have our last question.
All right.
This is Rick, and Rick would like to say something to Matthew.
First, Matthew, thank you for coming out and doing Freedom Fest. We spent 2 days together.
Yeah, there you go. It's good to see you.
I just want to thank you again, not only for coming to Freedom Fest, but being here tonight and being transparent and real with our youth. Thank you.
Oh, thanks for saying that, Rick. I appreciate it. Thank you. I just want to say it's been wonderful. Every chance I get to come to Florida. How are most of you from Florida? You all live here? Some of you from out of state. But just the people of Florida, something about that humidity, it does something. It makes you warmer and kinder and gentler and more supportive. I don't know what it is, but I just hope to be coming back to Night of Joy for many years to come. And I just want to say thank you. I came here to answer questions, but you guys have just uplifted me and made me feel so loved tonight. And I just want to say thank you for that. So just keep serving Him. I just want to encourage you. There's stories like Donovan all around this place, and maybe you can relate to Donovan's story, or maybe one of the other stories you heard tonight. I just want to say, whatever it is that you're going through, you don't go through it alone. But God is with you. He loves you. He has a plan for your life. And just remember that your worst beginnings can have a what? A beautiful ending. So I just want to encourage you with that, and thank you so much for your kindness tonight. Thank you. Thank you.
You give me nothing else to say. This is why I just love this guy, and let's just thank Matthew West again for all that he has done.